Oh, hey, your class doesn't start until Monday. No, I'm not surprised. I saw your name on the roster. I'm glad. I think you're making the right call, but I'm not surprised. But I'm also not your academic advisor, and I've got a class of my own that I need to leave for in the next few minutes. There's not a lot I can do for you right now. Oh, uh, thanks. You didn't have to. It was a coffee. It was an honest mistake, even if the timing was less than ideal. I didn't expect you to make up for it or anything. And if you were going to, you've already done it in the best way I could think of to ask, by enrolling here and pursuing your abilities. But thank you. I was actually trying to figure out how to swing by 6 points and get some between this final I'm about to take and the one I have right after it. And the timing wasn't looking like it was going to be in my favor. You just saved me having to practically beg Monroe into gating over and getting some for me. This was her doing, wasn't it? I knew it. I'm assuming, or maybe hoping, because I don't need two of these right now, and cold coffee is worse than just about any metaphorical curse you could put on a person, that the other one you're holding is for you. Good. Sit down. I've got a second. Thanks for the coffee. It really was unnecessary, but it is also appreciated. Because it's something she'd do. Monroe. Monroe likes when things fit. She doesn't like jagged edges. She doesn't like conflict. Not that there was any from my end. She fucking damn well knows better. But I'm guessing you were uneasy. For her, that counts. Rough edges for other people aren't things she likes either, especially if she thinks there's a solution. So this was a low risk, vaguely humorous, at least to her, way she could convince you to sort of break the ice in a lower stress setting than the classroom is going to be next week. Speaking of, you ready for your first classes? Good. They're gonna put you through your paces. Who'd they stick you with for magical history? Course they did. Kimball's an absolute hard ass, but that'll do you good. She doesn't softball the content or the exams, and there's a lot of it to get through. Especially for you. Both because you don't know any of it, and because of it being Maymester, so shorter than normal. But that should catch you up enough for your first actual semester in fall and put you in a good spot for your next magical history course. Did you did you even look at the I know you probably don't know what you want to do yet, so you probably didn't think to look at a specific degree plan, but every degree path requires at least one full year of magical history. Maymester counts for half a year unless you get an A on your exam, which you might, but considering that you're coming in with exactly 0 pre-existing knowledge, that isn't likely. No, I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying that you should be realistic with your expectations, especially considering where you're coming from. Don't expect so much of yourself that you burn yourself out before you start. No one expects you to be perfect right out the gate. And you shouldn't expect that of yourself either. That's what I'm saying. And while we're on the subject of expectations and what others think, knowing at least one person you've been in contact with since our fateful encounter at 6 Points Bistro, I'm gonna guess you've been hearing a lot of talk about being gentle with yourself in general and people reassuring you that it's okay to take time to find your feet, that it's okay to not know how to feel about all of this. And for what it's worth, that talk isn't wrong. It's not. This isn't just a life change. It is a shift of your entire reality. Up is down, left is right, and things you knew 3 weeks ago were just a myth are suddenly very, very real. I can't tell you not to feel lost in that. A lot of people would. But no one can tell you that you should feel that way about it either. You know that Robert Frost poem, The Road Not Taken? You know how it starts, 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood? Just stick with me. I'm going somewhere with this. I would have thought you learned that about me by now. I don't say shit like this without a point. Anyway, 2 roads. One clearly well-traveled and the other not so much. Have you ever had the opportunity to try something new? Something that you're excited about and looking forward to. Something that excites you because it's interesting or different, or even just because it is new. Because it's an adventure. And then you start talking to people in your life that you trust. And they start trying to give you advice. Advice you didn't necessarily ask for. On how to cope with whatever impact this might have. Not only does that potentially suck some of the fun out of it, it sets you up to be hesitant about it. Because everyone you've talked to has been framing it as this big, scary thing. Don't let other people tell you how to feel about this. If you're actually hesitant and unsure, that's fine. But if that isn't how you feel, if you're actually excited and ready for this and wondering where the hell it might lead, there isn't a damn thing wrong with that. And don't let anyone tell you there is. It's okay to want to explore new opportunities and new avenues. That's exhilarating and thrilling and can lead to some amazing places, both literal and metaphorical, that you never would have thought to go otherwise. Hell, sometimes, in the right circumstances, it's even okay to leap before you look. And I'd say at a specialized institute of higher education designed to guide you down this brand new path is just about the safest way to do that. For all intents and purposes, For you and the life you've had up until we met at 6 points, this experience is the road less traveled by. It can make all the difference. And there's nothing wrong with traveling it bravely, boldly, and joyfully, if that's how you want to do it. Don't ever let anyone convince you otherwise. Your feelings are your own, whatever they might be, and they're valid. Take this a single step at a time from the shallow end, or jump in with both feet straight off the high dive. It's entirely your call, and neither answer is wrong. I've been told that a time or two. You're the only one who gets to decide what this looks like for you. Don't forget that. Now, I've got less than 5 minutes before I have to leave. Is there anything I can handle for you before I do? Shoot. A lot of us junior admin staff are flying blind when it comes to your powers. I told you I only ever knew 3 recanters in my whole life. One was my favorite TA in my educational certification courses my freshman year. The other was a friend of a friend back in high school. I'm not in contact with either of them anymore, so it's not like I can put you in touch with either of them. And frankly, I don't know much about the magic itself. I didn't think to ask back then. But once I saw you on the roster, I did start pulling some research because I figured you'd be asking. It's out there if you know where to look, which really isn't hard. Most people just don't think to. I guess that's one of the benefits of TAing for the magical theory class. I thought to. We actually talk about your power set more often than probably any other non-specialized class on this campus. And that's still not saying much, which is practically criminal if you ask me. You can't just ignore one whole subset of Lucent society just because it happens to be rare. Anyway, they didn't stick you with the wrong courses. You've got exactly the ones you need, I promise. Because you need to know what each of the branches of magic feel like. It isn't like that. Yes, the magic is all nature-oriented, but it's still magic. Once you know how to harness it, magic gives off a feel. It'll resonate within you. And each type of magic feels different. You don't need to know how to cast it because you'll never be able to. But you do need to know how to identify it if you're ever going to have a shot at recanting it. The fastest, quickest way to do that is to stick you in all the intro courses. You won't be expected to perform the magic. Your exams will all be uniquely specific to you, mostly in asking you to identify which glass is filled with magically conjured water as opposed to ordinary tap shit or things like that. Your practical exams will all be centered around you using your powers. Same isn't gonna set you up to fail. And I won't let you either. Now, thanks for the coffee, but I really gotta run. I'll email you the list of resources I found for your magic after I get done taking this final. And I'll see you in class on Monday.